right, so we do have a couple of news items. We're a couple of weeks away uh, from training camp, but probably the biggest news item that came out recently, last couple of days, uh, was about Terrion Arnold. So this is segment one uh, for the show. Uh, Terrion Arnold, who's facing um, some legal troubles, uh, got released by the Detroit Lions, and it got reported that the Jets were one of the teams that were interested. So, in potentially signing him. This had to be said in court because they had to decide whether he should wear an ankle monitor or not. And the idea is that if he might be employed soon, since right now he's unemployed, but if he's going to be employed by an NFL team soon, he shouldn't wear the monitor because that would it's hard to play football with an ankle monitor on. And the judge agreed. Okay, he's not employed now, but it looks like he might be employed by somebody, so no need for an ankle monitor. So that's good. But it's a strange case. So we put up a poll. We said, let's let the Jet fans vote. And this was the result of the vote. 60% yes, we should sign him. 36% no. 4% said depends on what Joe Benigno says about it. But here's some of the particulars that I wrote. Per Dave Burkett of the Detroit Free Press, Jets, one of four teams interested in signing Arnold. Situation involves a plot to steal back property that was originally stolen from him and his associates. And I put something out on X saying, if you steal back things that were originally stolen from you, is it really stealing? There's a philosophical question. Like, if you're standing there, if you steal $10 from me, and then a week later I steal back $5, do I go to jail? And the cops catch me, but not you. I go to jail? I'm stealing back what you stole from me. this is a weird case. We may or may not be having Arnold come in for a workout next week. Aaron Glenn coached Terrion in Detroit, and many prominent people. This is the part that kind of makes it even more interesting. Many prominent people, such as Nick Saban and Sauce Gardner, have testified on behalf of his character. Nick Saban coached him at Alabama. And so 60, 36, 4. Here's the facts of the case as we know them, reported by CBS Sports. He could face life in prison, which is kind of weird because it says here in February, Arnold and some of his friends were robbed so they were robbed for up to $250,000. People took their property. Then, this is where it gets weird, they decided to take matters into their own hands, and they gathered three men they believed were responsible for the robbery. Those three men, who were actually apparently innocent, that was not so good planning, were allegedly jumped, pistol whipped, and held at gunpoint and had personal property taken. That's where they're taking back their property that was originally stolen, but they took it from the wrong people. This is not good. And then it says Arnold was not present for the assault, so he wasn't even there. But police say he was able to watch what happened via a live stream. Investigators now claim that Arnold was the primary conspirator. So basically, Terrion Arnold came up with a bad idea. That's what they want to put him away for life for. This was a very bad idea, Terrion. Stupid. But it seems to me he didn't do anything violent. He just came up with an idea that was not good. Chief Judge Christopher C. Sabella is presiding over the case in Florida and has already denied the state's request to keep Arnold behind bars until the trial. That means he's on home confinement. Prosecutors also argued that Arnold should have to wear an ankle monitor, but that motion was denied. Cornerback has to remain at home in Florida unless it's for a work or legal related matter that includes training camp. Should a team sign him? And that's all we got here. So what a weird case. They get their stuff stolen, and then they come up with this stupid idea to trap these people they think stole it from them and hold them at gunpoint and take their stuff back. But it turns out those people that they did that with were not the ones who stole it from them. So this is all just amateur hour. Stupid things going on. But it seems to me now the other thing is that a lot of people have come out on behalf of Terrion Arnold in terms of his character. They're submitting letters to the court and all this, including Nick Saban, saying they never saw anything in his character that he was a bad guy in any way, shape, or form. Apparently, he's very polite. Even the people who were on the periphery of this stupid plan, like people around in the neighborhood and stuff, they said, yeah, the Terrion Arnold kid, he was very polite and nice. But those other people he was with, they were, kind of rough. So basically, it's kind of looks like he's a good kid who just got into a weird and terrible situation, and he didn't do anything violent. Really, he just came up with a bad idea. So I don't know how this is going to go. Obviously, we got to wait and see. This is just the reporting we have so far. But to me, it seems like a situation where Arnold is probably going to roll on the other dudes, right? This is how the real world works. Arnold is the cops, the people prosecuting this are going to say, listen, Terrion, if you plead guilty to some small charge and you give us all the information about these other people who actually did the bad thing, then we'll let you plead out to this small charge. You'll probably get probation or something. I bet you. But we don't know. It could be more facts in the case. I'm no lawyer. One thing we should know, Frankie is not a lawyer. So I'm just guessing from what it seems like from the reporting right now. He's going to roll on these other people. And these other people are going to go to jail. That's not great for his life because then once they get out, they're going to be very mad at him. At him, but that's not our problem. The way I see it is we might be able to get a first-round talent to be a backup on our team. And sure, he might get suspended for 6 games or something, but if he's just a backup and we're just trying to improve the backup situation, and we could do so for a minimal contract, and he doesn't get found guilty of anything violent or anything crazy, and he just says, yeah, I came up with this stupid idea. It was crazy. I fell in with a bunch of roughnecks. I don't know. But, I don't know. Could be a smart move. Could be. And so far, 60% of the voting public agrees. 36% said no. 4% said it depends on what Joe Benigno says about it. So, Superfan says, we must not like our cornerback room. Well, he would be a replacement for Quantez Stiggers, basically. Is he an upgrade over Stiggers? Yeah. So the way I see it is it's a good way to add depth, especially if he didn't do anything terrible and it plays out the way I said, where he just fell in with a bunch of roughnecks and he came up with this stupid idea and da-da-da. Now he's all sorry. It's kind of weird anyway. I mean, it was a dumb thing to do. They had $250,000 stolen from them, and they said, we're going to steal it back. I mean, it's understandable that you'd want to do that, but it's ultimately pretty dumb. And what are you doing hanging around with these people anyways? But nonetheless. So, I don't know. As long as it's not too serious. And then if it comes out that actually he did a bunch of violent stuff or whatever, then you just release him. There's no harm, no foul. Phil the Jet Adams says, how good is Arnold? Well, he's been a disappointment based on his draft position. So he was drafted in the first round, but he has not played like a first rounder. So he hasn't been great, but is he better than Quantez Stiggers? Yeah, probably, almost certainly. So he's been somewhat disappointing based on where he was drafted, but I'm thinking about him as a backup. So he's better than what we got. He's better than Quantez Stiggers, basically.